Hi again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Capitol Talk, sponsored by the Dicor Corporation. I'm Rick Kessler of RVBusiness. Joining me, as always, is Sherm Goldenberg of RVBusiness. And joining us today is Bob Brammer of Stromberg Carlson, back up there in Traverse City, Michigan. Bob, thanks for stopping by.
Great to be here, Rick and Sherm, with you guys.
So we're talking to you on a Tuesday morning, and it just so happens that RVIA issued their wholesale shipment for numbers for October, which lo and behold set yet another record, but not just a record for October, but of any month, with almost 58,000 units. Got to ask you, Bob, what's your take on these wholesale shipment numbers keep going up and maybe retail numbers starting to level off?
Yeah, that's okay right now. As I travel around and make calls, Rick, I see good inventory on dealer lots. Oh my gosh, this summer, you couldn't say that, right? It wasn't even good inventory. It was like, where's some inventory? People were parking units at angles, doing whatever they could to make a lot look more full, right? Now, of course, we don't want to get way ahead of the curve. That's happened before years and years ago, and then things really have to shut down almost for a while. But I think the OEMs know what's going on. I mean, they got to get a few more variety of units maybe on the lots, right? And they'll tone it back when they need to. I've seen our OEM, we track OEM orders by pieces, not by dollar volume or whatever. Doesn't matter if it's a handrail, a tire carrier, a shower rod, whatever they're buying. And I have seen it fluctuate 10,000 pieces a month, from 21,000 up to 31,000, back to 24,000, and they've done a good job seasonally, I think, of even holding that number down right now. So, yeah.
What things do you see in the market that amaze you most? I mean, I can speak for myself and say the fact that RVIA just issued its best, well, it looks like we're headed for the best year in the history of the industry. That in itself, given all the headwinds we've all dealt with, is in itself amazing. But your commentary on the market itself.
I've watched large players become huge, and I've watched small players become significant. And I'm talking more in the aftermarket, Sherm, than the OEM level, because, if I get my largest customer to grow 10%, he's already doing more new business with me than a medium-sized customer can imagine, right? And, the players that have backing, NTP, Camping World, I mean, you can name a half a dozen of them. They're doing great, and they're growing with the market, and they're managing inventories and doing what they can to help dealers out as fast as they can. And that doesn't mean everybody's not trying. But again, taking large numbers, it'd be like Forest River, right? If their sales go up 10%, they're already bigger than, most other manufacturers out there, right? And we're seeing that same kind of effect in the aftermarket. So what's nice, this is what I like, Sherm. This is what I like. The big players are reacting to the situation. They're making the right investments. They're trying to get the inventory in there on time. We've had customers trying to pay fast to make sure they're supplying us with the capital we need to spot buy aluminum or plastic, because you get allocated your materials, right? But you're trying to react to the market demand, but you're on an allocation because our aluminum suppliers are all having the same problems from automotive or any other industry that they work in, right? And what I see is just efforts upon efforts all the way through the chain, trying to solve inventory crunches and problems. And the big guys are leading the charge. Not that everybody's not doing their job, they are. We're not a big guy. I'm not a big guy, but I see the effort they're all putting forth, trying to make sure that we can react to their needs. It's great.
What's your sense? In other words, there's been times in the last 19 months that it seemed hour to hour in terms of supply chain, et cetera. Does it feel like we're lifting out of that, or is that just happy talk?
No, we've lifted out of that. We have probably 6 to 8 weeks inventory in-house right now. But we build that every winter knowing Chinese New Year's coming. I mean, we import Sherm. We make a lot of things in-house. Our landing hands are made in-house. We have injection mold equipment, CNC benders. We do a lot of stuff ourselves, but we still import. And so, Chinese New Year's coming, you got to plan around that. You got to get ahead of that curve. You don't want to be competing the last 2 weeks trying to get something on a boat. That's not a good situation. And then China opens late. It's never 10 days, right? It's always like a month. And I see that throughout the whole industry, though. That's what Stromberg's doing. I think a lot of people are as well. They're not turning off right now. They're not trying to slow down right now. We're all trying to get ahead of the curve. Hey, if you get ahead of the curve now and things slow down a little bit, you got a lot of time to burn that inventory off. That's not a problem. You don't want to be ahead of the curve come September or August when you're getting into your third quarter tax payment and property taxes are due and blah, 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 all that overhead crap, right? So can you say that word on this interview? Is that okay?
Oh, yeah. No comment. But so distributor shows.
Yeah.
You're involved in several, right?
Yeah. We'll be going. Well, we're at one right now. I didn't go to it personally, but the Kessler shows right now, and we have representation there. We just finished AIM and Land and Sea up in Connecticut. AIM's down in Phoenix. And in 2 weeks, we'll be at the Northern Wholesale Show in Minnesota. Yep.
With a few more coming up in January. A couple big ones in January too.
January's huge, right? You got Meyer Arrow, and then you got NTP wrapping it all up. Folan, Folan's going to have a show in January as well. Yeah.
So is it something like normal? Is that a fair word to use?
A lot of the shows, so Canada, Alice is a good example, right? They had to do virtual because they're worried about the border crossing, vaccination, going home testing. They did a virtual show. We had a great show with them. Numbers wise. They use a virtual ordering platform. So at the end of the show, you know exactly how much is sold. We already know it was sold last year. We can compare and look, and we were very happy. The Canadians came out and they bought, and they did, bought new product too. Sherm, I always use that as a qualifier. Like things, you can tell things are good right now because people are trying new products, right? Back in slow years, it's like, I don't even care what's new, Bob. I can't hardly afford what the heck I need to buy, right? So that's a good thing to see. Connecticut is a new show to Land and Sea. It's not fair to judge it. And it's mostly East Coast marine dealers. Now, I was told it was lightly attended, but again, orders look great. The orders were fine. It's just that, again, brand new show in a new location in a marine-based atmosphere, but still, they had RV people come. I'm more excited about probably some of the shows coming up here in the short term. Wisconsin, Minnesota dealers, Dakota dealers for Northern, they're going to come out, and that's a great show. It always is. It's a fun show. It's a great group of dealers. They're my people. There are people that are like us, right? We think in the same box because we're all Midwest guys, and that's always a great show. And I bet we'll see that after the first of the year too. I know Michigan's spiking. There are COVID fears, but it's not going to keep me from going to the shows. People have either vaccinated or not vaccinated or had it, and I think we're all ready to go and talk to people face to face and get some business done.
Rick?
Yeah, Bob, maybe more specifically talking about aftermarket, all these new RVers, we always hear about them coming into the lifestyle. How are you dealing with that from a business sense for Stromberg Carlson?
Aggressively.
Yeah.
Yeah, we, the first year you buy your RV, you don't even know how, you didn't even know you needed to make campground reservations 4 months ago, right? You didn't know that.
Yeah.
You just bought your RV, and then you're kind of turned loose into the world of how does this industry work. And likewise, you didn't understand, well, you had chocks, maybe you had chocks, and a manual jack, but you didn't know there were electric jacks. And you see your neighbor who's not cracking a sweat, right? Just sitting there holding his button down. You're like, I need one of those. And or some levelers and or just some whatever, right? I mean, there's so many accessories, not just Stromberg makes, everybody in the industry's got great stuff, right? And so even if the OEs slow down a little bit, which they probably will, that's what I see. That's what we all think in my small circle of daily phone calls. The aftermarket is going to go full bore. And that's because Rick Kessler, who just bought that teardrop, either already has 2-foot envy and wants a teardrop with a bar, and or he's going to buy those toys that are going to make his wife a little happier and family more comfortable on that. Because they're just starting to figure out, well, if we just bring a clothesline, at least we can get the towels dry from the lake swim today. But they won't let us put strings up in the trees because we'll break branches and blah, blah. I mean, that's what people figure out. So I think we, in the aftermarket, 2 to 3 more years of solid growth, even if we slow a heartbeat or if the volume capped, God, that'd be the greatest thing that could happen, right? Not just cap it right there for the next 3 years. But I think the aftermarket will continue to expand as people look around, see the toys, want more comfort, want more convenience, right? Understand what it's all about.
Rick, should we, we've sort of done it here. Should we lampoon you guys on Michigan State before we part company, or just let it be?
Sherman, you know what? We can't play Indiana and Michigan every week, okay?
You can't lampoon a State fan, dude. We've been to the bottom and we've been to the top, and it's like being a Lions fan. I grew up a Lions fan. I wanted to be Charlie Sanders. I was a tight end. You're never going to talk me out of it. Are they terrible? Unfortunately, they probably are, right? But like, I'm a Dan Campbell fan. That guy makes them compete every week and they still lose. And that's what being a State fan's all about too, man. We got thick skin with that green and white blood.
You handled that well. Thank you, Bob, very much.
You're welcome.
As usual, a great interview.